Today we have the great pleasure of being joined by Keith Gerard. Now, Keith, I wrote this down. It's a long title, but we can shorten it as we go on. From the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center Network.
Yes.
Now, you guys work very closely with UMass Amherst and the Eisenberg School of Management. Tell us a little about it.
Actually, we're a program out of the Eisenberg School of Management, UMass Amherst. It's a collaboration with the university, plus the U.S. Small Business Administration, as well as the state of Massachusetts through its Office of Business Development. So it's that sort of combination of resources that are all coming together to serve small businesses.
And you've been doing this for how many years?
I've been working with small businesses for about 20 years, and I've probably worked with about 1,200 businesses at this point. But in this position here, working here since 2007.
On a, let's say, a weekly basis, you come into the office, voicemail, email. How would you split up existing businesses, maybe that some of those problems might be from, or new businesses? What would you say the percentage would be?
Well, our center, which is located right here in Pittsfield, in the glorious city of Pittsfield, not too far from here, actually, we work with about 250 to 300 businesses a year. About 50% of those are startups, and the other 50% existing businesses.
50% startups. That's surprising to me.
Yeah, well, you know, we work with anyone who has an idea for a business and want to flesh that out. I think the largest business we worked with is 11.2 million a year.
So someone can come to you with the framework of an idea. Now, this might flow into the entry to entrepreneurship. Does this have anything? Somebody comes with you to the framework of an idea,
yes,
and you can really usher them through that.
Yes, yeah, and there's it's very different working with someone with a startup, and particularly if they have what's called an IDE, possibility, which is a innovation-driven enterprise idea, is very different than someone who has what's called an SME, which is a small to medium business enterprise. So we have a number of techniques and approaches. Many of those are self-discovery approaches that were gleaned over many years of experience and through university research and understanding of how to work with somebody. Yes, so we will work with somebody who has an idea for a business and help them move through the stages. It is about the mechanics, but it's not just about the mechanics.
If you have three principles, or three main projects, let's say, that you like to work on. The first one, business advising, export assistance. Why don't you talk to us a little about those three?
Sure. People who know us probably know us mostly for our business advising and some of the things that we just talked about. But in addition to that, we have two specialty centers that are under our umbrella of services. One is called PTAC, Procurement Technical Assistance Centers. They help Massachusetts companies and Berkshire County companies get access to government contracts at the state, federal, and local level. Help Massachusetts companies probably do about $130 to $150 million of business with the government. We also have a specialty center called Mass Export. It's rated one of the top export centers in the country. They have relationships with about 50 countries and help probably Massachusetts companies do about $150 to $190 million.
I want to go over something you first said. We all know that the government is the biggest employer in any country, whether it's the United States or anyone else. There's a lot of government contracts out there that sometimes are hard to get a hold of. That maze that you have to go through can be really difficult.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And
that's a huge thing that you do, to take a company and say, you do X. I know 3 contracts right now that are open for what you do.
Yeah, it's a complicated maze. The good news is that the federal government as well as state government does a lot of work and has a lot of contracts that it offers to small businesses. The issue is it's hard to navigate that maze, all right? They're coming from a lot of different agencies. They have different requirements.
There's a lot of pre-qualification involved. There's a lot of qualifications. Tough to navigate.
Yeah, and it's actually just hard to navigate to find these things. So we have specialists that work with people on that, and we have access to proprietary databases and search engines. So that helps the people search through all that, maze of different agencies and so forth.
And also the exporting part of it. I have a good friend of mine who has works for a business, not his business. Now, it's not in Berkshire County, unfortunately, but it's a small little specialty company. They do a ton of work overseas that they didn't really plan on doing when the company came to fruition.
Right.
There's a lot of specialty stuff that I think even the owners of their own businesses might not think, geez, there's some overseas business we can do, and exporting and stuff like that, and you help them along that avenue as well.
Yeah, the specialists that we have under our umbrella services would do that. What we do is we help prepare for that, for example, and we help because that's an international market. All right, but you also often have like domestic market, and you need to have the business infrastructure in place to be able to access both that and to manage that. So that's one of the things that we would do here locally is help, if it was a local business, help them prepare for that and help them make sure that they have a good, strong business infrastructure to support.
How much does the geography of Berkshire County, we all know it's a weird,
Yes.
it's this big, long, thin, every agency I know in Berkshire County, it's a problem. Do we focus North Adams, down south, center? Do we just stay here in Pittsfield? You're traveling all over, I would imagine.
Yes, and people also like to come to us as well, which is really good from a lot of different ways. But we're one of 5 regional centers in the state, and we're part of a network of nearly 1,000 across the U.S. and its territories. But just speaking about Berkshire County, we have our offices in Pittsfield, but we have outreach satellite offices in North Adams and in Great Barrington. Our mandate is to be less than a half-hour drive from any business in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
That seems to be becoming more and more familiar with a lot of these agencies. Just getting a little tiny office in North Adams and one in Great Barrington and sort of being based here in Pittsfield.
Yes.
Because people do like to come here, quite frankly. Wonderful food, which is what I'm always concerned about.
That's the important stuff.
That is
right?
the important stuff.
Let's
It's
get
absolutely.
Let's get to the food.
And talk to me about your work with the Shoemaker Center for Economics.
Yes. Well, you mentioned Entry to Entrepreneurship, which
Yep.
is a program. It's sort of our flagship. It's part of our commitment to youth entrepreneurship. We've been working with youth for probably, 10 years or more, both at the high school level and the college level. This is an entry-level program for people interested, youth, but also just young adults interested in entrepreneurship. It's a 10-module program that we did. This is the 5th year we're doing it with the Schumacher Center for New Economics in collaboration with Berkshire Community College. And that's going to actually be kicked off in the fall. The 5th-year one, yes.
I know the changing demographics of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship was probably an older. You saw maybe men and women who were a little advanced in life who had a career and learned a skill, and then now you're seeing kids coming right out of college.
Yes.
And they're eager to go. They
Yes.
might not be ready to go.
Yes.
They're eager to go.
Yes.
And you, I can't imagine how many kids you're helping nowadays in this. I call
Yeah.
them kids 22, 23 years old. Our own Mark Halshay, of course, probably looking to do something soon.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The economy has shifted and changed, and it's less about supply and demand and more about creating opportunity. So innovation plays a really important role, and innovation is something that's very exciting to young people, and it does create a pathway for them to be able to make a living and to do well, and certainly contribute to an economy.
What's the easiest way? I wake up one morning, I want to start a business. I have an incredible idea. I know it's going to be a huge hit.
Yes.
What's the easiest way to get in touch with you? What's the best way to start?
You can certainly call our office, and it's 499-0933, and I'll say that again. Area code 413, obviously, 499-0933. You can Google us, Massachusetts Small Business Development Center, or you can visit us at 33 Dunham Mall here in the glorious city of Pittsfield.
That's incredible. I was commenting to you off camera a little bit. I did one term as a selectman in Adams.
Yes.
And I'm pretty active around the community, and I had never heard of your organization.
Yes.
So I think this is really important for all you small business people out there who are in business, have an idea. I know we do some stories on the news where we're talking about small businesses a lot. This is a huge resource that you can use. So please look them up. It's a no-lose situation. Maybe they can help. Maybe they can't. But there's absolutely no cost in getting in touch with Keith or any of his people.
And even beyond that, we just have a short form. Once you fill out that short form, you're guaranteed that our services are free and they're confidential. So that's a pretty good price nowadays, So to your point, there's nothing really to lose to come in and talk to us about it.
Keith, this has been great. I can't thank you enough for joining us. I'm sure down the road we'll probably have you on again in the future.
Yes.
Please get in touch with Keith if you have a small business. I want to thank you for joining us. I'm Jeff Sununian. This has been iBerkshires TV.